Here at the bottom right, member of the team NS Hussa, also a Protoss player. Name of a hero.
Tassadar.
Talked a little too slow. Name of a hero in StarCraft 1. There he is. He looks so focused. I almost say he looks mad. Tassadar. His opponent over here at the left position. Member of the team Slayers, one of their better Terrans.
Slayers. Ryung.
I like that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one barracks expand again from Ryung.
If we do see that, though, he's probably going to put down an extra bunker just to be safe in case that comes through. Because even that one extra bunker would have made a world of difference there as well.
Absolutely. Having that extra bunker or not making the reactor would have had a few more units out. He also didn't pull his SCVs appropriately. If he had just had one unit to see that big mass of Protoss units, he would have pulled more SCVs, started making another bunker at the very least, pulled his Mirage, controlled his Mirage maybe a little bit better. I think he just got caught totally blindsided. He just had no idea what was going on. Barracks is finishing up. Ryung not taking any gases, so he is going to be going for a one barracks expand again. The other thing is, I wonder if Ryung realizes exactly what happened. He did see the Nexus. I wonder how many gateways he thinks it was. He might have thought it was a 6 gate, because you do see a 6 gate timing attack. Pretty normal at that. And that's another thing to note about the attack of Tassadar. It wasn't an all-in.
No.
It was a pressure move. He made a lot of pylons when he realized that I can probably just end the game with this. But before that, only 4 gates. He didn't make any sentries, really, so he wasn't making that gas-heavy unit. So he could have just backed up, made a Forge, Twilight Council, teched up behind it. So really nice move. Ryung might have just thought it was a normal 4 gate. Or, you know, a 4 gate with a Nexus. He obviously scouted the Nexus.
Yeah. So we do have that one rack expand coming out here from Ryung again.
Yeah, making his command center at the natural once more. Very bold. We're at cross map this time, whereas last time it was top to left positions. That's going to play into any sort of timing attack that Tassadar wants to do. Zealot, of course, holding the ramp. If the SCV attacks him, though, he cannot hold. Just wanted to make a joke there. The Zealot always says cannot hold. But even so, if the Zealot wanted to attack the SCV, he wouldn't be able to hold it.
Very fast.
Fast.
Twilight Council.
Twilight Council. Right now, just making that Twilight Council off the 1 gate, very normal. He's going to be going into DTs. He's going to be doing what is called the DT expand. It's a Protoss build. Very fast DTs, control the map with them, force scans to be given. And if your opponent isn't prepared at all, sometimes you can just end the game, but you expand behind it, so if your DTs don't really do damage, you can hold the Nexus.
Yep.
The problem from there is that your opponent, if he tries to counterattack you because you don't have very many units, you have DTs, and if he doesn't have enough scans, he can't attack you, and even if he wants to attack you, it costs him a scan every time. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not really designed to finish the game right there. Of course, if you have the opportunity to do it, but it's allowing you to expand safely and then keep the other player's macro as low as you possibly can.
Exactly. It's really strong against this type of build because even though he has a second orbital, he wants to get those mules up ASAP. He's not going to be hesitating on dropping those. And for that reason, when your opponent gets there, you don't have any scans, you freak out. It's a panic mode if you don't have an engineering bay, even though it's possible to hold DTs without scans or an engineering bay if you have really good control. You panic. Everyone does. It gets really hard to hold. You don't know where the DTs are. You're trying to find them. There's 2. Are there 2 or are there 3 or maybe there's 4? I just don't really know.
But he's put down a robotics facility as well, so he will be transitioning out of it. He just needs to find somewhere to put that pylon forward.
Well, the other thing about the Robo is that he can also make a warp prism.
Yes.
Or an observer to warp units onto the high ground. So he's got a lot of different options with that.
Another thing that some people also do is hallucination.
Yeah.
Get vision up there to warp some units in.
That probe is spotted. Unfortunately, that's pretty huge because that means that he only has that one pylon that's pretty close, but not as close as it could be. Ryung does have a supply depot to spot the normal pylon location. Here come the first two DTs. There is a warp prism in production, though. He's going to probably reinforce DTs into the main.
Yep. Just needs to be careful. Wants to split up his DTs, not give away that he's there just yet.
And Ryung does have enough for 1 scan. Here come the first DTs. He's blocking the ramp. He knows what's going on. He wants to split those DTs. There goes the scan. But the DT is attacking at the natural now.
Yep.
Missile turret trying to go up here. Remember, there's a warp prism on the way. More DTs being warped in at the pylon as well.
Needs to be careful of this turret though. Needs to get find some way to get around in there, getting a lot of SCVs while he's at it. This turret's going to go up, needs to back off with that DT before he gets taken out.
Yeah, and in the main, there actually is no missile turret. That warp prism's heading over. It is spotted by Ryung at the watchtower, so he sees it. Is he going to react? He has put units over here. He should be able to react, but he's going to drop DTs into the main. He should be able to keep his warp prism alive with those DTs.
If he actually does drop it, nice control here by Ryung, keeping him there.
Yeah, he's going to have to do damage with these DTs. He's starting to fall a little bit behind. His Nexus is just now starting. It looks like he is just going to completely back away. He needs to find an entry with those DTs.
Looks like Ryung's gotten a little bit too overconfident there. He's moved all his units back to the front. He's trying to see what's going on. I believe he does see that warp prism with the
he can definitely see it.
Well, not at the moment, but he keeps bouncing back and forth into vision, chasing it down with his Marines.
If he can just get one DT down, that would be huge. But he does have enough for about 3 scans. Ugh, so tense. That warp prism keeps trying to get in there. It's like a dangerous shark. Went back and forth, looking for that warp prism fin. Okay, so he's going to warp 1 DT down here. Or not.
Picks him up again.
I think he realizes that most likely it's not going to work if he tries to go around the other side.
Well, there's that turret there at the front of the natural as well.
Yeah, exactly. So. That's what I mean. He's going to realize that if he tries to attack that's too close to the turret, he's going to lose his DT. He doesn't want to do that. So he always has that threat of the warp prism. Just moving those DTs around, taking the towers, checking for things. Charge finishing up here. He's added more gates. His Nexus has finished. Worker count very similar, 41 SCVs to 35 probes. Working in some sentries here. Now, with these additional gateways, he is going up to 6 gates. May see a timing attack here. He doesn't have a forge, so he doesn't have any armor upgrades.
But he has been able to clear out the middle of the map here with those DTs, so...
Exactly. And here comes the warp. I'm going to try to warp the DTs in to the main, or drop. Keep saying
Still
warp.
trying to find a spot to put them. There we go. He finally gets 1 DT in. Going a little bit too close to the sensor tower? No, to the turret. But Stim has now just finished.
He wants to draw the units back as he attacks at the front whenever he does decide to do that. Has warped in a few more zealots. Not all of his units together, though. Warp gates are finished. He's chrono boosting them. This is going to be a 6-gate timing attack. He didn't do that much damage with his DTs. This may not work. Now he's using the warp prism as a reinforcement. Actually making those...
Archon. Nice choice there by Tassadar. He realizes that the DTs aren't going to do much more damage anymore. Archons do a lot of damage to the Bio Forces. We do have a lot of SCVs being pulled here ready. Looks like he's going to go for it. There's a lot of units here, though. A lot of Marines. Stim goes down. These bunkers are going, but the Zealots are absolutely melting. There's too many Marines here, and Tassadar being completely mopped up.
Yeah, this is...
so behind now.
He is so behind. His Archon almost dead. Only has 100 shields left on it. And from here, Ryung is most likely just going to counterattack and win. Yeah, it's almost impossible for Tassadar to hold this. I like his move to decide to turn around and attack there. He wanted to get some more shots off on that Archon and possibly save the Archon in doing so as well. He was going to lose those units anyways. Right now, things looking really bad for Tassadar. He's 40 supply down. 3rd Command Center is finishing up for Ryung. His Ghost Academy is about halfway done as well. His armor's on the way. He already has +1 weapons. No upgrades whatsoever for Tassadar except for that Zealot charge.
There we go. Looks like we are going to have a drop into the main as well. Not going to go where Tassadar expects it. There's still quite a few units there for the army of Ryung out at the back. He might go through at a different angle, but here we go. Dropping down at the bottom. A scan just did go down as well. Coming through, he will be able to get a bit of the tech structures. There he goes. Straight onto that robotics facility. It goes down so quickly because of those Marauders. But he might even be able to fight this army head on. The Archon goes down, lifts back up, and goes to pull back.
Yeah, with no Stalkers in that mix, the dropships will be able to escape. He's got a huge army outside of the base as well. He may drop again. Looks like he's getting ready for it. Now, as he drops, he may decide to move into the natural. Dropping here on top of this pylon, he may target down the Twilight Council, which is going to shut down more upgrades later on. But the problem is, he doesn't even have a forge.
Yeah, he is cleaning up a lot of those Zealots. He's coming into the natural at the same time, getting a lot of those units. All the sentries stuck on the top of the ramp. A concave now here for the Marines. GG.
GG.
The DTs, harass didn't actually do anything.
He committed too much to it. He went DTs and Robo. got the Warp Prism, and when you do all of those things at once, you better hope that you made your Nexus first. If you didn't make your Nexus before you made the Robotics and you don't do any damage, then you have no units. And then all it takes is just one simple defense, and then you counterattack, things get bad. So there's a coach there for Ryung. Obviously, we were talking earlier about how we didn't think there was one here, but obviously we were wrong because he is here. A lot of players, or excuse me, a lot of teams recently have been bringing their coaches. When I first got here at the Super Tournament, I wouldn't say it was unheard of to have a coach there, but you didn't see it very often, especially for some of these newer teams like MVP and Hosa. But now, they're always there. I really like it. Choya Foyu is always here. He always brings a few Foyu guys with him, talks to him in between the games, talks to him after the games. Excuse me. Well, he talks to them after the games, of course, but before the games, like when they're sitting in between the games beforehand, for example, if a Foyu player is playing in the last game and the guy's there from the first set on, Choya talks to him, calms him down the entire time. He does a great job. If I had to give a coach award, I'd give it to Choya. I would.
Interesting. So we are going to have our third map. It's going to be Zelmaga Fortress, a map that hasn't had much exposure overall, but is starting to make a big impact in the Team League and also the GSL as well. I personally really like this map. What about you?
I like this map, kind of. The Zelmaga Watchtower in the middle is really creative because it's huge, but it blows up after 7 or 8 minutes. So I like that balance change to the map because that way the person who controls the Zelmaga Watchtower doesn't have total control of all the attack routes because that tower basically shows all the attack routes. There aren't that many bases on it, though. It's a pretty small map, so I'm not entirely sure how this game's going to play out. We may see another timing attack from one or both of these players. I don't think we'll see a 4 or 5 base type of macro game on this map.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's definitely not what we're
I don't
going to
think that's Tassadar's style.
I don't think so either.
Two. So we are going to be in the final map of the day, for Code A at least.
Are you ready for this, Unstable?
Of course I am. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Game starting now. Now.